Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am talking about menstrual cups again, because the first time I ever talked about menstrual cups was about 2 years ago on my channel in like May of 2016. And that was like about 2 months into using a cup for the first time. And now it is late 2018 and I still love using menstrual cups. So I kind of wanted to make this video about my experience using a menstrual cup for the past over 2 years and why I like them, why it's a preferred method for me during my period instead of pads or tampons or just anything else on the market, period, underwear, you know, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of share my experience. So the cup that I personally use is the Tampax cup. Yes, Tampax made a cup, people, and it's iconic. Not only did they make one cup, this is the wider version, but they also made a smaller version so that you can use the lighter method on your lighter days, which is just amazing because I feel like a lot of cup companies have this whole like one size fits all method, and that's just not the case. A lot of women's vaginas are varying in size, and some cups are like super long, and some cups are super wide, and some aren't made out of silicone like these guys, and they're like a different material altogether, but this is my preferred cup, okay? As you can see on my wider version over here, I cut the tail off more so, which is also preferred for me because having a longer tail makes it a bit more uncomfortable when it's actually inserted. So you can just take a small pair of scissors and snip off the little tail if it's bothering you. I know a lot of people do that, but I mean, if you prefer having the little tail on there, if it's easier for you to take it out with the little tail and stuff like that, I completely understand and leave it on. But that's just a little tip that I have if you're a cup user. I also just wanted to quickly talk about why I use cups instead of tampons or anything else. And truly the #1 reason why I use a menstrual cup is because it's so much better for the environment. That's just the truth of the matter. All you have to do is put it up in you and then pour the blood out into the toilet, and it doesn't produce a bunch of excess trash other than the packaging that it comes in. With tampons, you're constantly throwing away plastic applicators, flushing your tampons down the toilet, clogging your toilets with tampons. I have so many friends who have had their toilets clogged because of tampons. And the same goes for pads, like you're constantly throwing away the wrapping of them and then the pad itself, and it produces a lot of trash. So that's pretty much the #1 reason why I use menstrual cups. Also, it's just my preferred method ever since I found out about it, like over 2 years ago. And I did a lot of extensive research before I started using one. So if you're doing your research today and stumbled across this video, hello, I'm Megan and welcome to my channel. I talk about a lot of these topics on my channel, so hit the subscribe button if you're not already. But yeah, man, there's also a bunch of other reasons now that I'm thinking about it why I use a cup other than the environment. It's more comfortable for me than tampons ever were. I had this problem when I used tampons where I felt like I was always putting them in wrong, and I never understood why, but it would always like be inserted wrong or not fully up there, and it would like burn and I would just have to take it out and then use a new one, and that's no good. And oh yeah, it was just a lot. And then pads, I was never really a pad girl, if I'm being honest. If anything, I like to use period panties that have like the built-in layer in there to collect any excess leakage. But the reason I like cups is they don't leak. But yeah, let me talk about my preferred cups really quickly because I freaking love them. And also thank you to Tampax for sponsoring this video. I am so happy that they asked me to talk about their new cups because Tampax is such like a name brand, like an iconic brand in tampons, and them venturing into the cup world like blew my mind. I was like, of course I will talk about your product. I have been using a cup for so long and I would love to try it out. And so I've been using this for about 2 months now, I would say. And it's just, oh, they're so good. Okay, so this is what I use on my lighter days, right? This is the smaller one. And in a size comparison, it can fit inside of the wider cup. So this is what they look like next to each other. And if you've never inserted a menstrual cup into yourself before, I will give you a little tutorial, Megan style. My preferred way to fold it, because there's a lot of different ways, is to kind of like indent it with my finger down here, and then I fold it from there. What you're inserting is smaller than just this giant fold fold that people do. So you can see how big that is, and then my method is like a portion of that size, right? There's a little bit of like a learning curve when you start using a new product and finding your ways to insert it properly. So what you're just gonna do is you're gonna go to your toilet, obviously, sit down, and you're gonna do the little foldy thing, you know, dig it down, roll it up so you have this insertion right here, and then you're just gonna kind of shoot it up there. And once it's up there, it will pop open, and you will feel it pop open, and it doesn't like hurt or anything, but if you use a cup, you definitely know the feeling of it like being properly opened. And if it feels weird, it's probably not put in right because I can barely feel cups when they're up inside me at all. The only reason I would ever be bothered by a cup is if the tail is too long, and that's why I cut it off. I don't have any fake red liquid to mimic the sight of blood, so that's probably for the best for anybody who's spooked of blood, but I do have water. So I'm just gonna fill up my cup here with a little bit of water, and it can hold about that much. Okay, so as for this being inside of you and you removing it once the cup is full, this is what you're gonna use for all of that. This is the like extra grip rings, and this has more rings than other products on the market so that you can like actually grip it up higher, because I pretty much grab it from like right up here when it's up inside of me and I'm trying to take it out. But the number one thing that I really like about this is I can pretty much squeeze it pretty hard, and you see it kind of rising, but it's not going over the top yet. And this is when it's fully folded in half. Like I am feeling my other finger on the other side here. So that's really nice for when you're learning to pull it out, because obviously you're gonna wanna get a good grip on it. And sometimes if you like obviously grabbed it from right here or something, it would just whoop, leak out. So I just grab it from here and I kind of like bear down, like you want to push it out. When you're pulling it out. So you'll do the push and the pull and just take it right on out of you, and then you'll just pour the blood into the toilet. Does this all make sense? I was about to pour this back into my water bottle, but I'm gonna go put this in the sink. Actually, before I do that, let me fill up the bigger cup with the lighter cup so you can see how much this holds in comparison. So that filled up like a little bit more than halfway, but you still have a lot of a ways to go to fill it up. So that's a little size comparison of what they can hold. It also comes with a carrier case, which has air holes in it so that it doesn't like become a breeding ground for a bunch of bacteria. But you can just place your little cup in here and close it up, throw it in your bag, you're good to go. But my number one thing that I love about the Tampax cup in comparison to other cups on the market is that it's wider than most cups and less long. And a lot of people have issues with a cup being too long because you can feel it, like I said, with the discomfort of like putting in a tampon wrong, that like burning weird feeling. If a cup is too long and doesn't fit in your vaginal canal, then it won't feel good. So the shorter cups are ideal for me personally, and it has a wider rim as well, so it can still hold just as much. It's also not really like bulbous, I guess is the word. It has like a soft curve kind of base rather than being too bulb shaped. So it's not really putting as much pressure on your bladder, which is also something that I've heard kind of irritates people. So I just love the general shape of it. You feel me? And these cups open super easily. I've actually never had any issues with me putting it in wrong or incorrect and it not opening. That could be the fact that I know how to put in a menstrual cup properly, but also I just think the rim is rather robust, if you will. And it just opens super easily and stays in place well, so I enjoy it. Now for the cold hard facts, baby. These are made from 100% medical grade silicone, so you're not putting any crazy stuff up there that's gonna irritate you. It's super soft and wonderful in the old canal. And like I said, they're available in two sizes, so the heavy flow and then the regular flow. And you could also get a starter kit if you're unsure about which size would fit best, or if you just want two cups to use on your lighter days and your heavier days. But if you know that you're like a heavy flow kind of gal, every time I say heavy flow, I think about the Mean Girls quote. I have to put it in. I'm putting it in.
I can't help it if I've got a heavy flow and a wide set vagina.
As I was saying, if you know that you're a heavy flow gal, then maybe just get the heavy flow one. But if you know that you have really light periods, maybe just get the regular one. Either way, the Tampax cups are available on Amazon for you guys to go and get. I would recommend. They also come with little wipes, so if you're out and about, you can like clean off your cup if you're in like a public restroom and can't carry your bloody cup to the sink to wash it out. That is definitely a downside to cups, is you can't always rinse it, so having the wipes on hand is pretty ideal. I'm wondering if I answered all of the questions that I had when I first wanted to get a menstrual cup. I covered the insertion, the removal, pretty much just bear down and push it out and then dump the blood. If you're near a sink, rinse it out in the sink. And I will say, after having a cup for a long time, they do get stained. So they will change in color. They're not always going to be super clear. And that doesn't mean that your cup is just super dirty. It just means that it's been stained by your blood, as blood does stain many things. And any other questions that you guys have for me, I would be happy to answer them down below, because I am truly trying to sell everybody in my life. Every person I know who has a vagina, I'm like, do you use a cup? No? Why? Why not? Why do you still use tampons? Can you let me know? You use pads? Why? And I know that so many people use those products because they're scared to put something up inside themselves. And I know everybody has their own like personal thing that works for them. But if you are looking to try a cup, I would highly recommend the Tampax cup. I know there's a bunch of them to choose from on the market, and Tampax knows that they're not the first one to make a menstrual cup, but it is my ding dang favorite. Mostly because of the process that they went into to make it. It just made me so happy. They did extensive research, studies. They surveyed women to understand what they don't like about cups and what they would ideally like in a period product like this. And after they had conversations with hundreds of women, they realized that people were just settling on something that was like good enough, you know? But not like, oh, it's wonderful, I love it, I want to tell everybody about it, it's great, it works for me, and it's comfortable and wonderful and just so great. And that's how I feel about this product, genuinely. So that's why I want to share it with you guys. It fits my body, it fits my needs. They worked with an OBGYN to create it and like ask all of these women what would be best, and they did a great job. So go get your hands on the old Tampax cup, people. And thank you so much, Tampax, for asking me to talk about your product, because oh boy was I excited when I got this offer, man. And that's the type of brands that I like to talk about, is the ones that get me really excited. This is literally like my dream deal, because I'm so passionate about, one, saving the environment, two, menstrual cups in general, and three, just a good womanly product, you know? So this all being said, I hope this was a good kind of big sister type advice video for you guys. Just kind of breaking down my experience with my use of menstrual cups over the years. And I hope it was informative and answered your questions. And any other questions you have for me, you can leave in the comments down below. And also, while you're down there, give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Ring that notifications bell if you want to be notified when I upload. And until that next upload, stay smiling. Bye, guys.